Hello everybody, this is Deanna from Vintage Touch Antiques. Today I would like to give you just a little glimpse of my indoor operation of my antique business. This is my office area. This is a very small room, as you can see. I've had to be very creative in the placement of the furniture pieces in this room in order to maximize the space because it serves a dual purpose. Plus, I also wanted it to look attractive. It does have an inviting look as you look here through the door, even though it is very small, but it functions really quite well. And today I'd like to start with just one area or section of the room to show you what I've done and some of the ideas that I have put into place to help me with this small space. Now this area right here is just a very small area. It's between the door that comes in and the closet door that's right there to the right. And this is all the space I have that I can devote to my sewing, mending area. Other than I do have one set of cupboards, or should I say drawer units right over here, that I do use for scraps, bias tape, ribbon, lace, some lace scraps, and seam binding, and things like that. But other than that, my sewing things are basically in this space, and then one area that I will show you in a little bit where I use to store lace scraps. Now this does not include the area that I have for fabric pieces. I do store those along with, you know, textiles and clothes and things like that that I have for sale in my guest room area. So other than that, this is pretty much it. So here's where we will begin. Okay, of course, here's my sewing machine. And this serves two purposes. I've got lights here, as you can see. These are battery operated gooseneck lights that move around, and then I've got them attached to pieces of wood that are mounted to this wall cabinet. I have hanging behind the sewing machine, I've got backdrops where I have like a lace backdrop, I have black velvet backdrop, I have purple velvet backdrop, and they are secured on a rod that fits just like a curtain rod that fits on hooks, and I can put this piece out over my sewing machine like so and position it like so, and that becomes the backdrop for the photos that I use online. And then when it's not needed for that and I need to use my sewing machine, they just tuck away down in behind the sewing machine. So I think you get the idea. Okay, on the side here I have used what started out in life as a spice rack, and I've mounted it here where I keep my threads, the color threads that you need often, and so I want them readily available. And they, as you can see, I do not have very much space that I can come out from the wall with in order to open up my sewing machine. So this really does work very well. And because I had to stack some of these threads and they would tend to fall off, I just secured some black elastic with a upholstery tacks on the sides, and the elastic across there holds them in fairly well. I don't really have much problem with that now. Hanging here is my flexible tape measure, makes it readily available. On the sides of this cabinet, I have little tiny shelves. I also have materials that I can get to quickly, like my pen with my pen cushion and twine and so forth. Okay, below, right here beside the sewing machine is a little sewing cabinet. It's just a little inexpensive used sewing cabinet that I picked up at an auction. But it just fits in this space so well. It houses all of my sewing supplies that I have, like my pins and Velcros and buttons, just kind of things like that. Down here, my scissors and pens and sewing machine accessories. And then, rather than waste the space below this sewing cabinet, I got a set of these antique sewing machine drawers, 4 of them, and my husband built me a nice little box to house them in. And so this area below this little cabinet then is not wasted. The cabinet here is a wall cabinet. Again, does not come out from the wall very far, but because of the size, it's an antique, and I think it was used for maybe like a pharmacy kind of a cabinet, but it holds a lot more of my sewing notions and things that I need in a hurry, like my bobbins and thimbles and sock darners and different kinds of colors of thread that are really nice to have for antique repairs and stuff. And of course I have my pin cushions and clippers and stuff right here on the bottom shelf where they can easily be reached, because I can reach this bottom shelf without any problem when I'm sitting at my sewing machine. And at the very top I have a little display of spools and things, and I even get up there every once in a while and get those down to use. So that's the cabinet section. And then on this side of the sewing machine, again, very small space area, but there was a space. This is a bifold mirror door here that goes to my closet, which is open most of the time, and I could take it off, but I've left them on because occasionally the grandchildren will arrive and you just don't want them wandering in here where you've got your inventory. So that way I can close up the closet. But here on the side of the sewing machine, I have this little hanging pocket, and I have just a little pie pan that I get out if I want to sort buttons. Makes it real handy. I have here different size rulers that I use, and there it goes off. It hangs there usually pretty well. And I use those rulers whenever I'm photographing to show the length of things and so forth. And then recently, I got some lint there. I picked up this nice little set of triple sewing machine drawers that tuck right in here. Again, it keeps me from having wasted space, and it helped me to organize all of the different colors of thread that I have and that I want to keep. So I'm going to move past the closet right now to show you one more thing that's sewing related. And up here is a 2-shelf wall unit that I have created to display so that I can see at a glance my antique lace pieces that I use for repairs and for other projects. And as you can see, I've used old textile spools to put the different kinds of lace on them. And I can, like I say, I have different size spools there, and so you put different size lace pieces. And you can look up there on the wall and reach up and get down whatever spool you want. And it makes attractive display as well as a very functional way and visible way to have your lace pieces. That's a picture of me and my sister. I think we were cute little children, don't you? Okay, so I'm going to move in here to my closet that I use. Now, this closet has been designed, or should I say redesigned, to use to house most of the inventory that I have for my online business. Now, some things are in my other studio. They are kind of like a dual thing. If they're antiques, they can be out there, but they're tagged that they're online, so I don't make a mistake with that. But as you can see, I've got shelves that houses inventory, and I have used little baskets and stuff. And then I've got these great storage bins that I have all along here. And because there was no label place, I just made my labels and put them on with ring binders so that I would know, like this has got some toys in it, this has got sewing pieces in it, and that way I can easily identify those. Down below are little plastic drawer units that hold peanuts and not bubble wrap so much, but peanuts and wrapping materials and tissue paper and things like that. And then this section, which was a disaster, I have finally got it to where it's looking halfway decent. Up there's styrofoam, and then you've got some smaller boxes and some regular boxes for things that don't go priority. And then below I've got my different size priority boxes that you get from the USPS site to use for shipping. And then up above the inventory is my bags, bubble wrap, foam, and so forth. So that's the area that houses most of my inventory. Now this little table that I've got here, it's like a little side table. It's very tiny, but again, very functional. These drawers, I have like my rechargeable batteries, camera, tripod, and equipment. This is my digital scale for shipping and my larger flat top scale. I even have some coins here that I use, that I just keep here at this lamp, that I use when I'm doing photos and I want to give a scale of the size. This little area here has shipping tape, scissors hanging. Again, makes it very functional. Now this little bench is an antique deacon's bench, which obviously with this room being so small, you couldn't use a very big you couldn't use like a sofa in here or something of that nature. So this works beautifully because it does give a little bit of a seating area if you have somebody in here accompanying you or talking to you or helping you. And underneath here I have this, it's a Western Electric storage bin thing that it's really nice heavy duty box. But rather than waste the space that's under this seating area, I've converted this into a place to house my fabric scraps, and I've divided it into sections for different colors and different types, and I've used these furniture slides that I've mounted to the bottom so it will easily pull in and out underneath of there, if you can see how that works. This little dustbuster thing is what I grab whenever I've got styrofoam all over the place and need a quick cleanup. And then I have a nice little corner cabinet over here that I have some office collectibles and everything just to make it attractive and inspiring for me. I love to be in a surrounding where I've got some of my antiques because that's what spurs me on. So that's where I'm going to end this video for today, because I really just wanted to show you this area that I've had to use for my sewing and how that works for me, and how you can tuck some of your pieces in small spaces, very small spaces, and they work really well. And this has worked very well for me, and I do a lot of work here. So thank you for watching the video. I hope that you've maybe gained some organizational ideas from watching this, and I invite you to subscribe to my channel if you find this interesting. And if you have any comment or any questions, please just leave it in the comment section below the video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.